of trading where not much happened on the market, certainly with the blue chips, that is. It looks like we're starting off with a bit more action at the start of the trading week. It's just after the close/open on the weekly, about 20 minutes or so, and about an hour and 20 into the Asian session. So let's see where Ethereum is going to go this week and the trading opportunities it's going to present us. And as I say in the graphic here, is it going to keep sleeping or start to wake up? Let's have a look. You can see from this hourly chart here on TradingView that I use quite a lot to give me indicators. Basically, this is one that I use for my exit indicators, and there's nothing going on here certainly to exit a trade. But what we can see is that the price band is continuing to operate in a very narrow band, and that coil spring that I often talk about is tightening. So haven't had that explosive breakout yet, but we're expecting it to come this week. I'll show you why that is. Especially starting with the market open tonight in America, and where I see a Bitcoin going, and Ethereum, of course. Number 2, Ethereum. And so, as you can see here, we've got a very narrow band here. So, although it might be a bit boring at the moment, that boring is going to end fairly soon, and you've got to be careful what you wish for, depending on which side of the market you're positioned. So, you remember this chart from last week, and let's get back to basics here. We're still operating within a range. Range high 4,100, mid-range 3,545, range low 3056. Nothing has changed. And certainly over the weekend, operating, as you saw in that last chart, operating definitely within this range and within a very tight band within the range. So, but it's important to keep those levels in mind, because until otherwise notified, Ethereum is operating within this range. So let's see where and when the breakouts are likely to occur. Well, let's just have a look at the bigger factors to start with, and that is, of course, Bitcoin halving. Now, that's only 22 days away now. That's imminent, 22 days. So if you're looking for downside, if you're looking for Ethereum, Bitcoin to sweep the lows, you've got a very small window, and that window is closing imminently for that to happen because of this. Obviously, the inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, and I know that was affected towards the end of last week, and there was a couple of outflows, but that is an anomaly. Overall, the inflows to those ETFs are just continuing. So just remember this, the Bitcoin halving is imminent, and of course that will have a significant upward pressure on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum price. And of course, our dear friends, the socialists in charge of America, the federal government of America, have and yet again replicated what they did back for COVID in 2020, when they gave all that free funny money out to people to go and spend as they wish. A stimulus to the economy, and it was certainly a stimulus to crypto, but they're at it again. And just over the weekend, when the president's wife showed him what a pen was, because he's probably forgotten by now, and where to sign on the dotted line, probably thought he was signing something else, but anyway, that doesn't matter. He signed this legislation into law, $1.2 trillion of funny money, worth nothing. It's worth a bit more than a lot of other currencies, but still a lot of nothing, has now been released into the American economy again. So that's going to cause a short-term sugar hit, of course, putting it onto the bill that is never going to be paid ever, of course. So good luck to them. But these are signs that there's going to be positivity in the market this week in the macro side of things, in the TradFi side of things, however short-lived that might be. So let's get back and swim in our own particular pond, and you'll see that at the moment ETH BTC is still bouncing around those bottom levels on the ETH BTC chart, plumbing the depths, so to speak. But as I said last week, I'm not expecting it to go below this support level and to stay below this support level. Again, those other factors I was talking to you about, the whole market should rally this week, and ETH BTC no less, because it's about time. It's coming very close when ETH is going to start outperforming BTC. And you've heard me say that before, and that's not hopium or anything like that. It's just simply that the time is coming for revenue the people have made from Bitcoin to rotate into Ethereum and then into altcoins. And it's certainly not altcoin season. Of course, the meme coins are doing very well, and that's great, but it's not by any means altcoin season. So, as I said, the BTC chart could come back into this support range but expecting strong support and then an upward move from there. And of course, this is not financial advice. This video never is. This is how I'm trading. You do you. And can I just ask at the same time that you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and the notification bell to be notified of future videos. So you'll see here, looking at the liquidations. And as I always say, follow the money. And I watched this morning, Australian time, and you could see what was happening so obviously that there was a lot of liquidation sitting here in this band, and the market maker, and really into the 3430s. And the market maker just came up steadily. This had accumulated over the weekend and boom, just took it out. And as normally happens, price is reversed. Now that's only in the 24-hour. There's a lot of liquidity coming into the market, a lot. And so of course that's going to attract the market maker who is swimming around in the pond just looking for these snacks of liquidity. Some are more than snacks, some are main meals, some are Henry VIII's 64-course meals. And I'll just show you what I mean. And when I say 64-course meals, I'm talking billions of dollars. Have a look here, around that 3,600 level. I've been watching this build and build and build. 4 billion just on that price alone. There's the shorts have been setting it at a cute little target of 3,600. They've been setting their stops, and that cutesiness is going to get them in trouble because, in my opinion, as I said, even though we're trading in a range, the move is going to be on this week towards the upside. And look at that, 3,600. Let's just keep going with these billions here. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. And you think the market maker is going to miss those? I don't think so. He's going to go for them as sure as night follows day. So that's going to happen sometime during the week. So what do we do in the meantime? What do we do now? Well, as I say, you do you. But if I didn't have my positions already open, I would be adding a small amount. Right now, I would be taking a small position, say 2.5 ETH, for example, if you're just very new to the game and just starting open a position. That's up to you. But again, I might take 2.5 ETH to open a position. You might take 250 ETH. You might take 0.25 an ETH. You just do what's within your capacity to do without obviously going crazy. And so if you see here, we're on the daily chart, and you can see we're above the 50 EMA, which is nice. And we've been holding above that for the last few days, which is always a good signal because it's one of the biggies. The 50 and the 200 EMA are the biggies as far as the EMAs go, certainly in the longer, or the higher time frame, I should say. And so you can see here we're holding well and providing that good support. So that's another good indicator that the market is wanting to move to the upside. Important, yes, but less important is the 4-hour chart, because the lower time frame you go down, the less important it is. And so here's the 4-hour, and you can see here again the 50 EMA. It's just price is just below the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So it's been capped at the moment. And you saw in that first chart that I showed you, trading in a very narrow band. So it's really, the spring is loading tighter and tighter. So we're here below that 50 EMA and looking to break out. But I'll show you the first signal that I'm looking for. And this is something to really keep an eye on as perhaps the earliest indicator of a momentum shift. And that is the 50 EMA on the 1 hour crossing over the 200 EMA. And that is not something I trade, but it's something that gets my attention. It's something that I watch because that's the early indicator, and it's pretty reliable. Over 80% of the time, I find that it's the earliest indicator that momentum is shifting either to the upside or to the downside. So watch the 50 EMA as opposed to the 200 EMA. Watch for it to cross and then consolidate, confirm above that, and then you've got an early indicator that, for example, if you have just opened a trade like I was just talking about, and you're looking to add some more to that, that would be an indicator to me to add some more to my position because price is likely to continue moving to the upside. I've already got my position established. I'm not adding to my position. But if you are just getting started with a position here, definitely those two things. One is to open a small position now, and the other is when you see that confirmation above the 200 EMA by the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. And then, because I don't trade the 1 hour, then you want to see confirmation on the 4 hour above the 50 EMA, the same thing. So that would be my trigger there. And I don't trade the 1 hour because it's noise. The lower the time frame, the more noise it is. And so I'm looking at more high time frame trades. And so that 4 hour would be my actual trigger to add to my long position. The final thing to mention is, as I always say, you've got to be prepared for an anomaly in this highly manipulated market, which is crypto. So you get something to drive price down to the bottom of the range. Could be anything. It doesn't need to be a major black swan, but it could be something to spook the market. But anyway, if it does get down here, if we do get a sweep of the lows here, again, if you haven't added to your position, haven't opened a position, perfect time to do so. I last added at 31.50. I'm quite happy to sit there. But if we do get a sweep down here, in my opinion, it will be the very last of the sweeps to the downside of this current range before we continue to move up to mid-range and to the range highs, which I'm expecting during the course of this week, given that the Easter's on Friday and so the market's last day of trading in the markets will be Thursday. I'm expecting it to get up to this range high during the course of this week. Anyway, we shall see. But as I always say, trade safe, trade within your means, and I will talk to you next time.